Welcome back. In sport today, Pakistan erupted into jubilant celebrations on Wednesday after a crushing 10-wicket defeat of West Indies, sending the nation into the semi-finals of the World Cup for the first time since 1999. Pakistan's opening batsman easily reached the poor total of 112 set by West Indies, and despite the early finish, the celebrations went on into the night. Now the mouth-watering prospect of meeting fierce rivals and neighbours India is one step closer for Pakistan's patriotic fans. West Indies coach Gibson said his batsmen had prepared to face spin but found the ball going straight from the slow bowlers. He refused to make any excuses for his team's abject performance in losing their World Cup quarter-final. West Indies captain Darren Sammy was too upset to attend the post-match news conference.
It was a pressure game because everybody thought that we are a far better side, and when you favorites, or when people think that when there were talks around that you are a good side, it creates a pressure. And I think that pressure in a way has given us the boost when we walked in. By picking up early wicket of Gale really made us believe that we can do it straight away. So. Yeah, I think overall, I think that pressure got the best out of us.
Meanwhile, Australian cricket captain Ricky Ponting on Wednesday said he has no plans to retire and will continue to play international cricket for a few more years. Ponting was referring to some news reports published in Australia about his retirement after the World Cup 2011. Former players and analysts have been urging the Australian captain to step down since the Test side's Ashes defeat to England on home soil in January. There were further calls for his resignation after the Australians lost to Pakistan in the World Cup group stages last Saturday.
Yeah, as you say, I've spoken to the Australian journalists this morning. There's been some stuff back at home about me retiring after the World Cup. That's just completely false, untrue. I've never even thought about or contemplated retiring at the end of this World Cup. I'm enjoying my cricket as much as ever. Obviously, this is one of the more exciting weeks you'll have as an international player, being in a quarter-final against India in a World Cup. So all I've been focusing on is training and preparing well and getting myself right for a big game tomorrow. So that's whatever you've read. Don't worry too much about that. Hopefully you'll see a bit more of me playing in the next few years.
The Crusaders got down to business in London on Wednesday as the countdown continued to this weekend's historic first-ever Super Rugby match at Twickenham. The Christchurch-based franchise are set to host South Africa's Sharks on Sunday. While the Sharks are not scheduled to arrive in the city until 48 hours before the match, the Crusaders held their first training session since arriving at the British Army's Honourable Artillery Company near Moorgate. Midfielder Robbie Fruin has been one of the Crusaders' best in their opening 5 matches of the competition and told reporters the sight of Twickenham has been the highlight of the trip so far.
Twickenham, it's got a lot of history behind it, and the stadium, flying over it earlier on this week when we flew over, the Twickenham Stadium was just massive, and it's just going to be an awesome experience.
Tiger Woods has said he is missing his late father's input into his game, but he has returned to the methods they practiced in a bid to sharpen up his putting. Woods, without a win since the Australian Masters in November 2009, used to count putting as one of the strongest points of a game, which has brought him 14 major titles. But his reliability on the green has faded of late. So the former world #1 says he has been revitalising the lessons learnt from his father Earl, who passed away in 2006. Golfing great and tournament host Arnold Palmer said he is surprised that Tiger Woods has decided to rework his swing, but the 14-time major winner is still capable of winning at any time.
I went back to all my old stuff that my dad and I used to work on. And that's when I felt that my stroke started becoming more sound, more solid. My speed became better. I don't know what that dude saw in my game, but he really knew putting. And he knew my stroke. My dad really knew my stroke, and I miss him for a lot more reasons, just than the putting. But as far as bouncing ideas off of him and what I was feeling and what he would say, I do miss that, certainly.
And for a change of pace, over 400 Art Deco furniture pieces totalling between an estimated 35 to 50 million euros were presented on Wednesday in anticipation of an auction which will take place in Paris. The pieces, all part of the Chateau de Gourdon collection, range from designer chairs and tables to elaborate panelling and will be on offer from Tuesday to Thursday. International head for 20th century decorative art and design at Christie's, Philip Garner, said the auction would showcase Art Deco's ability to stay current despite the test of time. Some of the collection's pieces, such as a Jean Denan's chess table and matching chairs, are expected to fetch between 3 and 5 million euros. Garner said the pieces would be perfect for a collector hoping to complete an art collection. And with the world's largest racing day, the Dubai World Cup, just around the corner, the fashion on the field is just as crucial as the performance of the horses. Dubai's stylish women are gearing up for the big day in less than 48 hours. Kim Fletcher, award-winning international milliner and ambassador to the Melbourne Cup, lends her expert advice on what it means to be stylish and complete the look with the all-important hat, according to her, a must-have accessory for the races.
It's a wonderful event and it's a world-renowned event, so I think everyone's excited to be here. It's really important to get the hats right. The hats actually show your personality, and so therefore as soon as I meet a person and they're wearing a hat, it tells me a lot about them. So therefore getting that whole thing right in terms of the look and how you want people to perceive you is really important. In terms of trends, obviously hats are an accompaniment to your main fashion, which is your clothing. So therefore we definitely follow what they do, we don't lead. In terms of what you see, the fashions are very feminine at the moment, very bright coloured, so therefore we obviously are following that trend as well. So you'll see lots of flowers in terms of mainly hats trimmed in flowers, also big flowers on their own, as well as very much bold colours, and it's very beautiful.
And with that, let's take a look at the local and international weather forecast for tomorrow. Before we head out, here are the top stories again. UAE Foreign Minister urges international community to put water concerns as top priority. Etihad Rail reveals plans for nationwide railway project. Actress Elizabeth Taylor dies at 79. And Dubai World signs final agreement on its debt restructuring. Well, that brings us to the end of the bulletin. As always, please feel free to get in touch with us at news@city7tv.com or by calling us on 04367 2230, and do join our Facebook page. But from the entire news team, it's goodbye for now.